everybody, welcome back to Crafted by Norma. I've had a request about how do I put my altered book signatures in without stitching through the spine of the book. So this is just going to be a demonstration on how I do it. It may run into two smaller videos, we'll just have to see how we go. So first of all, I get everything prepped up. So I've got my 3 signatures ready to go, and I've centered all the pages so they're all there ready. The next thing I'm going to do is make sure that my book itself is ready. So the outside cover, so this is an Edith Helding one, so I've padded it out and put my material in, and what I'm going to do now is just put the pages in like so. So she's ready to rumble as such. So I'm just going to take some glue and put a spot of glue in there. There we go. Ooh. And we're going to just glue those pages down. Like so. And the key area really is just along these edges here where we want the papers to go. So I've pre-measured it. I've also scored along the side so it'll actually curve around, there we go, around the book itself, because I want it to go right into the corners there, like so. Put a bit more glue onto there. There we go. And where's my bone folder? Here's my bone folder. So I want to get right into the creases there, like so. Come on, glue, stick down. There we go. And it's quite crucial that we get this area there quite tight. There we go. And at this stage it doesn't matter if the paper just rips a little bit there, because you're not going to actually be seeing that at all. It's just more key that we get it down and glued. There we go. Normally I don't cover my books with material. It's usually always paper, but this time I thought I'd just use some calico that I was given. So, and I thought it went quite nice with the theme of the book. Whoops. So I'm just going to pop that. Oops. Just pop that down there in the corner. Make sure it's nice and level. Like so. There we go. And I just want to make sure that that book can bend. And that we've got there is quite tight and secure. Like so, and the same on the other end there. So we've got a little bit of more glue just needed just here. So we'll put some more glue on. There we go. Oops. Okay, so we're going to let that just dry a little bit while we go to the next stage. So the next stage is actually going to be measuring from here to here. So with my ever ready ruler, there we go. We can say that's about roughly 25, 26, which is about an inch. Which is about an inch. So what we're going to do next is just cut some strips of cardboard, or heavy duty card. Now this is craft card, but it's quite thin. So what I've gone and done is I've got 4 layers, and all I've gone and done is glue them together to make one stiff layer, like so. Okay, so this is much more stiff, and it should fit in quite nicely, into there, like so. And then when the book closes, get rid of that. When the book closes, as you can see there, it actually holds and it won't fall out. That's what we're actually after. Okay, so you glue your four pieces of card together to make one thick card, like so. And we just layer those up quite quickly until they're not quite as bendy. Okay, just like so. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a piece of card that we're going to make a template. So we always have the distance between the top there shorter than the distance from the bottom. And that way we can always remember when we're putting our pages in that the wider gap goes to the bottom and the shorter gap goes to the top. Okay, I'm just going to get my other bits and pieces together. I'm just going to put you on pause for 1 second. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to use the marker that we've gone and done, and I've just done a line down the centre and I've marked where I wanted my 3 holes. So I now get my piece of card, which should be nice and hard and stiff. So what we're going to do now is just centre that there along that hole. That should be brilliant. And then we're going to just mark where we're going to want to put those holes. So the first one, because we're going to have 3 sets of holes, so the first one we're going to put right down the centre, and then the next 2 sets of holes, because we're going to have 3 signatures in this one, we're just going to, if that's the first one in the centre, we're just going to put 1 there, and we're going to put 1 there, and then we're going to move along again, and we're going to put the one that we've already punched, which is the centre, and then 1 just either side, like so, and the same again. So we've now got 9 little marks, but we've used this for our centre. Okay, and then we're just going to punch those out. Now if you haven't got a crocodile, you can just punch it with a bradawl and make your holes, but it is far easier to do it with a crocodile if you've got one. So then we're just going to punch out those set of holes, like so, in a near enough straight line if you can. That's it, so you've got 3 there. We do the same again. Centre one, just off centre, turn it round, and offset centre. Obviously if you had 5 signatures that you put in, or 4 signatures, you'd readjust those holes accordingly. Okay, I'm just going to eyeball that one. So that is now ready for sewing onto my signatures. I'll get rid of all these little bits. So for my signatures I've done exactly the same. Now it is important that you make sure that your top and your bottom matches. So if you remember rightly, I said the smaller area at the top where you've got your holes and the larger one down the bottom. And I've gone and marked the same thing onto the centre. So there's the centre fold, that's the top. So I've marked a little hole there where I want my hole to be, and all the way down the side the same. And I've done that on all 3 of my signatures. I've just got this last one to do now, where I'm bringing in the bigger crocodile, which I can punch in. So I've now got my holes as such. Okay, so all we're going to do now is actually sew them onto this, not onto the book, but onto this. Okay, so I've got my thread, and I've basically just done it 3 times the length and a bit extra. So I'm going to start in the middle. So I'm going to go in the middle hole, and I'm going to start at the back of my spine, and I'm going to go in through the back, leaving a little tail, and then we're going to come through the bottom one, and we're going to come through this hole here, if I can just find it, like that. Okay, so we come through like that. Make sure it's reasonably tight. We're then going to go through the top one, making sure that we come through the bottom at the back of our spine and pull, and then we're going to go back through that hole, that middle hole there, and we're going to come back through to the book this side. Now what we do want here is to have a piece of thread either side of this. So you've got a piece there and you've got a piece there. And what we're going to do is pull that reasonably tight and tie off. Like so. Pull the needle out, put that into one side, and I can take these out now. So we've now got our first signature actually sewn in. Okay. And that's what you want to make sure that you don't do, because you shouldn't have that that's slack. Okay, so if it is slack, what you can do, you can go back in and pull it tight, and then undo these knots and tie it again fresh. I'll just pause for a second while I just sort this one out. Okay, so we've just tied it off and made sure it's quite tight. So we've gone and sewn through the back 3 holes, and we're now going to do exactly the same now with the next one. So we're going to line it up, we're going to get our needle and thread, we're going to go through the centre hole, making sure that the right end is the right way around, and in actual fact that isn't, because we want it to be all the right way. So just double check with taking your time. So go through the centre hole, go through the middle line of holes now into the centre one, pull through, go through the bottom one, so your bottom hole of your signature, come through, pull it reasonably tight, making sure you haven't caught anything, go through your top hole and your top centre hole there, pull, go through your middle hole again and come through, making sure that you've got no tangles this time, which I haven't. Pull it tight, and then we can just tie that off. There we go, 1, 2, 3, cut those off, like so. Undo those. We've got our second signature in. Okay, like so. Okay, and then we take our third signature and we're going to do exactly the same again. So we've got our needle and thread. We're going to go through the centre, making sure that we're the right way up. Yes, we are. Go through the centre, go through the centre hole of our spine, like so. pull it through, go through the bottom hole of our spine, and then through to the signature. Ooh, like so. This is where it gets a bit tangly. Okay, give it a little tug, making sure that we've got it through okay. Then go through to the top hole, and it should line up quite easily and come through that top one, like so. Through to the centre one again, catching it right the way through like so, and making sure that we've got a piece of thread either side of this centre one, like so, and pull it nice and tight. Ooh. Okay, making sure that we haven't caught it on anywhere. Let's just check. No, we haven't, so we've got it nice and neat. Pull it tight and tie it off. So we've sewn in our 3 signatures now into the spine, like so. Okay, so it should look a bit like that, with your 3 signatures all sewn in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to glue it into the book. Now what I try to do, if I can, is I'm going to run some double-sided sticky tape. Now I've got some very, very thick double-sided sticky tape, and I'm just going to run a piece down there. Now this just helps it stick while the glue sets. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on like so. There we go, like so, and run it down like so. Peel that off. Now if you haven't got extra thick, you can just use a couple of thin lines of the double-sided tape. It's really, as I say, it's just there just to keep everything nice and still while the glue actually dries. Oops. Now the types of glue that you can use bookbinding glue. I'm having real problems here. Bookbinding glue, or you can use a heavy-duty PVA glue, which is what I use, if I'm honest. So we've now got that ready to go in. Now, making sure that your book is the right way and your pages are the right way, we're going to glue them into here, and we're going to try and catch the edges that's along there. So we're just going to put some glue on there, as I can find my glue. So we're going to be quite liberal with it, and we're also going to go along the edges of here. I don't really want it on the pages as such, but we do want it on the edge of there, like so. And just to be a little bit on the safe side, I'm going to run some more glue just along the edge there. Now if your book isn't as sturdy as this book, I will do another video to show you how to actually strengthen your spine, but this is it was just a recent novel that I read. So okay, so we've glued along there, and we've put some sticky double-sided tape there, and what we're going to try to do now is wedge this into here. So we're going to slot it in like so and push, turn it over, and making sure that that is also slotted in like so.